Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
This is your Weather Extreme video for Saturday, December the 10th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at our Skycam imagery this morning. A beautiful shot as we look out from Birmingham, and we see some clouds off there in the distance, and certainly some more clouds from Dauphin Island as we see a pretty sizable cloud deck down there with a little sliver of sunrise showing up on the horizon. We're into an interesting pattern. We have a weak cold front moving through the area that's going to remain dry. That is, we will see a few clouds, but I think for the most part, we'll probably be fairly sunny today. That will be replaced by surface high pressure, and that will keep us in good stead for much of, at least, the upcoming week. In the upper atmosphere, we're dealing with a fairly strong trough, but the ridge is going to hold strong, and so as it does, that will keep the moisture and everything away from us, and we'll have to wait for the next system to really give us anything in any significance. The whole situation is rather chilly across the country when you look at temperatures. You can see a lot of those blues in there, and those blues are values below about 10 degrees or so, so a lot of chilly weather. Notice up there just in the western Great Lakes and down into Iowa, temperatures between 0 and about 10 degrees or so, and there's even a -1 there in part of Minnesota and Wisconsin. So certainly some chilly air. We're not going to get too warm today ourselves. Look for a high only of about 50. As you can see, the front is moving through with dry conditions but some clouds, and we'll see that reinforcing shot of colder air. The QPF pretty much gives you your forecast for the next 5 days. It's going to be dry over Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. All of the weather pretty much off to our west or over in the peninsula of Florida. So we're going to stay in good stead. The 06Z GFS this morning run shows us that the surface high pressure will be moving in today, and that will be the predominant feature we'll be dealing with for the next several days. Here is Sunday, and you can see the high moving over the mid-Atlantic states, but certainly our predominant feature in our pattern. It kind of sticks there in the mid-Atlantic states on Monday, keeping us high and dry. The easterly flow causing the possibility for some showers or clouds down over Florida, northern Florida, so that might be an issue if you're headed down that way, down around Jacksonville and Daytona Beach. When we get into Tuesday, the upper ridge is holding pretty tough. In the meantime, we are developing a pretty strong closed low out over the southwestern U.S., but that pretty much keeps us still high and dry Tuesday as well. As we head into Wednesday, the system begins to eject out of the southwest, but our ridge builds up pretty well. That keeps things well up to our north and to our west, at least for the time being. As Thursday gets here, we see that it's almost a glancing blow. Now, there's some differences between the GFS and the Euro, especially in timing on this, so we'll have to probably be updating the forecast as we go along this week. But the GFS, anyway, is suggesting that the bulk of the energy will move off to the northwest of us and north of us as the ridge holds over South Florida. And so when we look into Friday, we see that the ridge is not budging at all, and what that means for us is that the weather stays off to our northwest. And while we have to introduce the possibility of some showers maybe late Thursday or Friday, it certainly looks like the bulk of the rain stays well away from us. And even Saturday, things still not looking good for rain, as the systems pretty much don't show much in the way of change. And of course, what that means is that the bulk of the rain remains west and north of us. So looks like a dry, fairly dry weekend, but right now we've got to include the chance for some showers. We'll be updating that as we get closer to that event. Now, looking out into Voodoo country a little bit further, looks like we get a wet system somewhere around Tuesday the 20th. Could be wet Monday and into Tuesday, but it certainly looks like a little bit of a wet system right there with a nice little short wave coming through the lower Mississippi River Valley. And then we return to the pattern we're seeing pretty much for this coming week, and that of a ridge over the eastern half of the country and a deep trough over the western part of the country, and that keeps us in fine, maybe cool, but fine weather. So we'll be watching how these changes, and you know what happens with voodoo country. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Xtreme video. Expect to have the next one posted first thing tomorrow morning, or at least by 8 o'clock or so. In the meantime, I hope that you have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy whatever it is you're going to be doing, and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.